Welcome back to the channel. So we have got another week that has gone, and I think the last few weeks we haven't really had a lot of visible progress. There's been a lot of sort of infrastructure-y things going on to get us where we want to be. But this week, and if you remember in the last video, I've said I hope that the doors will be in, I hope the floors will be in. Wow, this week the floor is in. So we've got this like screed thing down here, so the floor is now done. We have actually got this bit here that's sort of cut out. There's no floor there, and that's because we're still trying to work out what we're going to do with this wall. I'll come back to that in a minute. And also, the doors are on. So this is a big moment for the build. And actually, they look pretty cool. And I'll just quickly show you them, because if you remember in the previous video, I said the configuration we've gone for is a door that opens here and then they slide open. So you're going to open this door. It's quite cold today, that's the only thing. And then you lift this little thing up here, turn it, and then you go like this, and it just kind of slides along. It's actually quite nice and smooth. And you want to do this one, turn that, pull that out, and they just slide all the way across. And that is our big wide opening, and it's pretty impressive. Quite pleased with them actually. We've got like these two bits of wood there because they're just holding up the plasterboard, because when you do a steel you have to have this pink plasterboard, which is fireproof something or other plasterboard. But this is our doors, and they actually look really cool. And you will notice that Jean-Claude Van Man has been cleared out all the rubbish. He's martial arted his way through the rubbish, and we've now got a load more rubbish. So he's going to have to come back again and sort that out. But yeah, Jean-Claude Van Man has been. I'm just going to close these again. So the way you close them, I think anyway, you kind of just pull them like this, and then you kind of use that handle, bring that in, close that, push that down. What's quite good is you can just have just this bit open if you want. And close that. And that's that. Also, you'll notice that the plasterboard is up. So they've actually plasterboarded the vault. We've started to put the plasterboard on the back there, and plasterboarded this ceiling, and plasterboarded this back wall, and the lantern is in as well. You see like the lantern that we got up there. This is where you can probably see what I was talking about in the last video, but how thick this this roof is. It's really thick. So onto this wall situation. So if you remember in the last video, we said we're going to potentially take out this wall. And I thought we were just going to take out this bit of wall, but the builder said is, no, we take out the whole thing from like here, and then just have like a little post in the middle there, and just take out that whole thing. It relied on two things. Building control from the council had to say that it was all right, and the structural calcs have to come out and measure how big the steels are going to be. The building control guy came out and he said, if you remember, if the house was built on clay, he wouldn't let us do it. If it was built on stone, then he would let us do it. We dug a hole, it's built on clay, so we were thinking we wouldn't be able to do it. But when we actually dug out this hole, we realised that the foundations of our house are super wide for some reason, and the building control guy came back and said, oh, it's absolutely fine then, they're super wide, you can do it. So now we've got the structural calcs guy that came out on Friday. He's looked at it all and he said, by Monday, I'll have the calcs back to you, and then we're going to know how much it's going to cost to do it and whether or not we are going to do it. So I asked the builder about this a few weeks ago. It seems to have taken a long time to get to this point where we're still deciding if we're going to take it out or not. But hopefully we can take that out and the whole thing will be out. Had we done this beforehand, then we would have just had one big gap. We wouldn't have had a post. We would have the steels would have been up in the roof. However, I think this is quite a nice way of doing it, of having the post in the middle, and also it'll be cheaper because we're going to keep the steel that we've already got there, and just have a new steel in across there. So I think massive progress this week, really lots of visual progress, and it's feeling like a room now, which is great. Next week is going to be, hopefully on Monday, finding out about this wall and then starting to take that wall out. So hopefully in the next video, which will be this video, and you'll be watching it in a few seconds, but for now, for me, it's still another week away, we'll start to see some progress in that. I have just cleaned the Z4, and we are going to get out and do some more trips in the Z4, so that's good. The weather's been rubbish, so I haven't been able to go out in it, and still enjoying it. I want to do one of these. What I want to do is one of these sort of like YouTube things, like that. And then when I come back to the next video, I'm a pro YouTuber. No, I'll just go. So by the magic of YouTube, and then,
they go.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
By the magic of YouTube.
No. You gotta like actually.
Okay. And by the magic of YouTube.
No. As in full.
Okay.
Cover it so it goes black.
And by the magic of YouTube.
Go.
Right, it's 1 week later. See that? That's YouTube. That is professional. First thing is, it's bloody freezing, which is why I'm looking like Michelin Man. Anyway, you'll notice in here there's a lot of mess. In the video last time, I showed you it was kind of tidy. Now there's just a mess everywhere, and the reason for that is because we are going to take out this wall. We made the decision, going to take out the wall, and we're going to be left with a post here. Which will kind of separate the kitchen and the dining room, but we're going to have a post. Now, one of the things that the builders find quite interesting is they cannot understand what was here originally, because if you look here, we've got bricks on that bit of wall, we've got block work on that bit of wall, and then on this bit of wall, just got like these weird yellow bricks, which is kind of odd. But we're going to take out this this wall, but in order to do that, we've got to put in quite a sort of complicated steel structure. So you've got to have a steel coming out there, then another steel across there, and another steel down there. It feels like it's over-engineered to meet today's standards. And if you actually look at what's holding this up right now, it's a concrete lintel and another lintel there. So I know we've got the wall and that as well, but if you look at old standards versus new standards, it's significantly different. It's just such a weird mix of things, and the builders can't really understand why have they put these bricks under a lintel. It just doesn't make any sense why anyone would do that. Anyway, so we've got these kind of acro things that are back in here holding things up, because what they've made us do is we've had to dig out this hole, and they've now filled that, and underneath here there's some rod things that go in there. But what was interesting, I didn't get a shot of it, but when they actually did this, they dug out this hole, they dug under the foundation, and you could actually see, put your hand under the bricks, under the foundation, which is just weird. The reason for that is because they've made us build another hole on the other side of this. I don't really get why we've had to do this, but we have. So we come into our living room, there's another hole that's identical to that hole on this side. So that's what we're doing right now. And one thing I will show you is if you actually look at the size of this hole, you think, it's not actually that big. And then I'll show you how much mud that hole creates. This. That's the amount of mud that little hole creates. It's mental. Anyway, so that is more chaos in the garden, won't worry about that, but we're making progress, and I'm not actually going to upload this video at this point because I want to actually show it this wall out. So it's Sunday today, and then Monday, tomorrow, we're going to come back and they should start taking out this wall. They're going to acro it up, and then after that, then the steel goes in, then the building inspector's making us build up another wall out of engineering bricks, which I think is unnecessary, really. I don't really get it. It's not the building inspector, it's a structural calcs guy, and he's starting to get on my nerves because he's a young trainee, he's following everything to the letter of the law, and which is the right thing to do, but I can't help but feel he's just doing it a bit too more than what's actually needed. Anyway, at least that's the view of the builder, but other than that, I don't think there was really much else that's changed this week. They had to do something on the roof because it was holding water at the front. They finished all of the rest of the plasterboard in. So anyway, next week the builder reckons this will be out, the wall will be built, and then we'll start putting plasterboard on there. Seems quite optimistic to me to get it done in a week. After that, the plasterboarding will be done, and then they will plaster it, and then we'll start putting the floor down and get the kitchen in. So, well, there's bits in between that. Once it's plasterboarded, we then need to PVA it and paint it, and that's something we're actually doing ourselves to save on costs. So we're going to PVA the whole lot. Well, my wife is, because I don't do DIY, and PVA all this and paint this, and that's going to be quite interesting trying to paint this because it's so high, but it is what it is. So I'll be back tomorrow. Right, it's the next day and the doors are out, and we started to take out this thing over here, and this was actually a chimney, and it's proving to be a bit of an issue for them because this whole section here was just solid concrete, and they've had to kind of like drill through it, and it's just created a lot more work than they thought it was going to do. That's actually the bottom of the shower in our ensuite, which just looks like a bit of a mess. But if you look at this on the other side, actually what's quite good, if you take this kind of view from here and then look out, obviously it is kind of a bit hectic at the moment, but you can start to see it opening up. This is actually coming out tomorrow now, the rest of this. They'd hoped to get this out today, but because of that chimney and how long that's taken, it's taken a bit longer, but that is coming out tomorrow. So I'll show you that on the next video. Otherwise, I'm never going to upload anything. But if you come out here and have a look on this side, it just looks like proper carnage. So got all these things in here, which a whole bunch of aquos just holding up the whole outside of our house. And if you remember on one of my previous videos how tall the roof is on this house, these things are holding all of that up, and the structural engineer says that this steel is going to hold up 10 tons of weight. That's how many bricks and the roof and all that goes on top of it. So it's pretty significant, and currently it's all being held up by these metal bars. But anyway, I am going to conclude this video here, and we'll see you in the next one.